all, welcome back to my channel TechSense. In this video, we'll understand about Azure function triggers. In my last video, we discussed what are functions, when we should use a function, what are the benefits of using functions, and what are the drawbacks. We also discussed about the types of triggers to we have in functions. In this video, we will understand triggers in detail. So, what is trigger basically? Trigger is an object basically that defines how your function should be called. What is blob trigger? The function will be called whenever we add or delete an item from the blob. So in this session, I will create one timer trigger and blob trigger, and I will show you how the function will be called on these triggers. So first of all, I will create a timer trigger. What is timer trigger? It's a trigger that executes a function at a consistent interval, maybe after every 5 minutes. Let's create timer trigger in Azure portal. To create the function, we should have a function app first of all. In my last tutorial, I already explained about how to create function app. So I'm already in the function app and I will create the function now. To create the function, in the left panel, you can see the function. Just click there and click on add here. Once you click on add, you can see the types of trigger available in Azure functions. You can select based on your requirement. For me, it's a timer trigger because I want to show you how we can create a timer trigger and how the functions will be executed based on that. So I will click here, timer trigger. Now I need to mention the name. The name I can choose based on my choice. Let's say timer trigger 1 only. And this is the cron expression basically. What does that mean? It means 0, then the star, slash 5 star star star. The first is second, minute, hour, day, month, and then day of week. So the value is here only 5. It means second, then minute. It means this function will be executed after every 5 minutes. So this is the cron expression I mentioned here. Now I will click on create function. Just click on this code and test. What it does, it basically prints in the log JavaScript is running late, and that's it. So this function now, because we created the timer trigger and it will run after every 5 minutes, so we can see the logs. Since it's printing in the log, so we can check. After every 5 minutes, it will show us that the function has been called. See, this function was called by host APIs at this time. Now after 5 minutes, it will be called again. If you can see, no new trace in the past 1 minute. Why? Because my function is being called after every 5 minutes. So now it's checking. In past 1 minute, no new trace. But after 5 minutes, the function will be called and we will be able to see the trace here. See, no new trace in the past 2 minutes as well. So see, that's the trigger after 5 minutes. So this is all about timer trigger. What is timer trigger? It's basically that runs under schedule, and you just in the function app create the function, select the type of trigger, that is timer trigger, write your logic here, mention the cron expression that I already explained earlier. Just mention their day, week, month, all of the things just mentioned there, and your function will be called itself by Azure. You just need to write your logic here. That's all about timer trigger. HTTP trigger we already discussed in my previous video. If you want to see that, please refer to my previous video. Next is blob trigger. So next type of trigger we will be creating, that is blob trigger. To create the blob trigger, we need to understand what is blobs, a part of Azure storage basically. And what is storage? Azure storage, it's support all type of data. It's basically a storage solution that Azure provides. So in there you can put your files, you can put your log backups, you can put audios, videos, database backup, files, anything, whatever you want to put, you can put there. It's a storage solution basically. One of them is blob. So my requirement is whenever a document is updated or deleted, maybe the function should be called. That's my requirement. So how we can do that? How we can achieve this requirement? Let's see in the portal. So the same way, to create the function, first of all, the function app should be there. So this is my function app. In functions, I'll click here, click on add. Once I click on add, I'll be getting all of the triggers. What trigger I want to select? Azure Blob Storage triggers. So I will select this. My function name, let it be, because I can choose by myself. So Blob Trigger 1, that's okay. Create the blob trigger. First of all, the blob should be there. So let's create the blob here. So okay, my storage account has been created. Go to resource. Storage account, we have four types of storages: containers, file share, tables, queues. So click on containers. This is my blob basically. I will click on container. I need to mention the name. Let's say TechSense container. TechSense container. Click on create. Okay, so my container is created now. Now let's go to the function and create the function with blob trigger. So in here, and storage account connection, click on new. So in drop down, you will be able to see the storage account you created. So if I go there, my storage account name is TechSense only. So I will select TechSense. Okay. Then I need to mention here my container name. So if I click here, the container name is TechSense container. So I need to mention here TechSense container. And this name is basically, this name is for, it will accept all kinds of file. If I want to make this function working only if PNG file. Okay, so my blob trigger one is already created here. Let's see if it's being called if I add in document in the blob. Let's see if it works that way. So what this function is doing is just simply in the log is printing JavaScript blob trigger function process, this blob. Okay, so let's go and add some document here. In here you can upload any kind of upload and select a file. Select whatever file you want. Let's say I'm selecting this PPT. Click on open. And meanwhile I will just click here test and run so that my logs will be visible here, and in here I will just upload it. Nothing has been called now. Okay, so let me just upload the document. And see JavaScript blob trigger function processed. This is my file name, Azure Developer Part 3 PPT. So at the same time when I uploaded the document, this function has been called. So this is how we can create the blob triggers. So that's it for today's video. We understood how we can create the timer triggers and blob triggers. In my next upcoming videos, we will be able to understand how we can create the Cosmos DB and how we can trigger my functions based on that. What are the bindings we need to change and configure. So for all of the things, please stay tuned. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. For any query, please write down in comment section. You can also email us at mytechsense@gmail or visit to my website techsenseconsulting.com. Thank you for your time.